hijacked it for. Okay. Hi everyone, welcome to another session of MBA Pathshala. So I think you guys remember our previous session in which we studied some interesting words. So in today's session, we'll continue our journey of learning new words and that too again by our root word. Okay, so starting with our session, that is again, we're gonna go for vocabulary. Before that, a quick reminder. New batches for CAT, non-CAT starting from Monday. And in fact, we have already started it, in which you will learn basics, advanced test series, and GDPI as well. It means by you will take admission, we'll teach you from the scratch by the time you'll take admission in your dream college. Okay, so you can attend free demo at any time, that too by IM alumni on Quant. Simply WhatsApp your number or simply call us on these numbers. Okay, one more reminder that we have already started with 45 days CAT marathon by IM alumni. Okay, again, a workshop in which you will learn a lot of things, including how to solve high level of CAT questions and moreover, how to solve them in limited time, in minimum time. Okay, again, a blank one so that we can learn how to apply our root words and we can learn questions. New words. Okay, so in previous one we actually went through a lot of words, including ego, that is I, including miso, that is hate, and a lot more than that. Now today let's start with an older one, that is just a second, gyne. So as we saw in previous one, that stands for women. So today we'll be eventually focusing on profession that is related to health professionals. Okay, so gyne, it means women, logos, science. Okay, now using these two words, we can actually come up with a very common word, that is doctor for women, that is gynecologist. Okay, now gynecologist. Now you must be thinking that this word we have already done in the previous session, then why am I doing again? There's a logic behind. Reason is that whenever it comes to something related to delivery of a child also, in that case also what we do, we actually end up thinking that a gynecologist is someone who is actually concerned with taking care of delivery of a child, but this is actually not true. If we go by the real vocabulary, gynecologist, it means someone who studies the science of women. Okay, an expert of women's science, a person who is concerned, who is an expert with the science of women reproductive organ, that is gynecologist. Okay, now if we talk about a person concerned with delivery, that is something, I'll tell you one word. Now, this is a new word. It means midwife. Okay. Now, when we talk about midwife, midwives obviously या तो second wife होता है या first wife होता है. There is nothing like midwife, correct? So when we talk about midwife, midwife is actually related to those people, in earlier days, if we talk about whenever it comes to delivery of a woman, they're supposed to be an helper, जिसको हम बोलते थे usually, because in earlier days there was no doctor, there was no gynecologist or no such hospitals like that. So what exactly happens, that there was a word called midwife. Now midwife is basically stand for also to stand. So the real meaning is obstetrician. I already told you, an expert. Obstetrics, midwife. So a person who is expert being a midwife, it means a person who is expert in taking care of delivery of a child. Hence, gynecologist is someone who is concerned with taking care of women's science, that is taking care of women reproductive organs, whereas the person who is concerned with, the profession who is concerned with delivery of a child is not actually gynecologist but an obstetrician. Obviously nowadays we have developed a lot, so one person can take care of a lot of things. So this is the real word if we talk about in the literal sense. Okay, you must have heard physician, that is expert of physique, that is our body. Musician, magician, electrician means expert of someone. Now one more word again related to this, that is pedos. Now pedos means child. The root word is pedos, for child. Now one more word, that is iatrachea. It means medical. Okay, medical healing. So can anyone come up with any of the word, which with which you can connect these two words and come up with one? Anyone? Child हमारे पास में है and pretty similar too. So yes, someone who takes care of child is actually pediatrician. It means, it means someone who takes care of one's child health. It means who takes care of a child's medical healings. That is pediatrician. Okay. Now, proceeding further. Now, anyone, now I would love to have you from this. Anyone who can come up with any of the word? That is beta, something similar to it. Anyone? Okay, chalo. You must have heard this word pretty nowadays, pretty common, especially when we watch YouTube and anything. That is Paragon. Now, it is someone derived from para, that is something similar to this one only. So it means something related to child. True or not? It means one thing we really understand is that it is something actually related to a child. So it is something leading to a child. Leading to child. Hence, we come up with this. Now, next. Okay, one more similar word. That is pedis. Okay, when we talk about pedis, pedis is actually a Latin word which actually stands for foot. Okay, so anyone who can come up with something similar with this? I think bahut sare something, those words which are directly or indirectly related to the foot, but having sound of pedis. Anyone? Okay, there are a number of those. That is pedestal. True. Something related to foot only. It means pedestal is a kind of stand, works like a foot on which something is standing or like that. So it is something working like a foot only. Next is paddle. Pretty similar, pretty familiar. You must guys be very familiar to this paddle. Now next is pedestrian. Pedestrian, those who are walking on foot on a road. So this is how these three words are actually derived from one single word. So hence we can actually relate that whenever something Seems like this pedis and ped is there. This has to do something with our foot. I hope this thing is clear to you. Now, proceeding to next, a pretty similar and everyone must be aware of this, that is derma. Now, if we talk about derma is basically stands for, I think everyone is aware. True, it is actually skin. Now, there are multiple things related to derma. It is not only dermatologist. If we talk about hypo stands for something more. So hypoderma. Now, what is hypoderma or hypodermic? Anyone? Okay. Anyone? Okay. So hypoderma, when this is kind of when those needles get penetrate in your skin, that is hypodermic. Okay. So this is somewhat again related to skin only, right? If I talk about, let's go for some new. That is nowadays pretty common as we are getting more and more aware with, our, what we say, skin, and we like to take care of our skin, we like to understand our skin, and we like to use cosmetics according to that. So usme bahut sari cheezein aati, that is one is epidermic or epidermis. Now, what is this epidermis? Epidermis stands for the outermost layer of the skin. Outermost layer of the skin. Okay. Now, there is one interesting word, I would say, which can be really helpful for you, especially in your examination. That is taxidermy or a taxidermist, maybe. Anyone who is aware with this? Okay, one hand, taxidermy is whose business is actually taxidermy. Anyone? Okay, so whenever we talk about taxidermy or taxidermist, so taxidermy is more like an action in which we, prepare or stuff the skin of animal. Okay, suppose someone poaching, nowadays poaching is pretty common. Even earlier days poaching was there. So whenever the skin of animal is available to us and, we are stuffing that skin with something, that is called taxidermy. Okay, sometimes it is, to keep the skin in the real condition. So maybe we are using some chemicals or like that, or maybe stuffing with some like that only. So that is called taxidermy. And the person who performs this is taxidermist. Now, one word which you can actually use in your daily life and you can actually sound cool, that is pachyderm. Now, what is this? I know that's something related to skin as it is having derm in it. So, whenever we talk about those kind of animal who are usually having this thick skin, like hippopotamus is there, elephant is there, rhinoceros is there. So, whenever we talk about such animals who are having this such skin, such thick skin, those are called pachydermis. Okay. Now, informally, you can use pachydermy for those people also who are, kuch farak hi nahi padta unko. Like no matter how much you scold them, no matter how much you complain to them, you must be having such friends with you also. No matter, that person is always late. No matter how much you scold that person. For them also, sometimes we use this term, that is pachydermis, means a person with, very thick skin. So, koi farak hi nahi padta hai. Literally, so koi farak nahi padta hai. So, next time, whenever you see such friend, you can actually call them pachyderma. Okay. Now, next is one more thing related to derma only. Now, one is dermatitis. Now, derma, obviously something related to skin. Now, whenever we talk about dermatitis, Dermatitis, it actually stands for such skin which get irritated, or rashes or inflammation is there, or some infection is there. So in that case, general of any skin such condition whenever you are having, that is dermatitis. Now let's proceed for one very interesting one. Okay, this is something my personal favorite, because this is actually very useful in our daily life only. So sometimes you might feel that we are aware, but actually you will actually come up with some new information in this one. Now, what is, sorry, ophthalmologist? Okay, person who performist, we have already seen, or maybe an expert. Logi, something, science of something. Now, this stands for Greek. Any idea? You must have heard this word. Come on, anyone? Anyone? Okay. So it is actually stand for ophthalmologist, which stands for eye. Okay. So eye science expert. So we can say that, okay, this is something has to do with an expert. But when we talk about expert, there can be multiple experts, right, who are related with the science of eye. True. There, because even maximum of us are aware, we already have an experience of this, going to the ophthalmologist. So a person we go to having some serious issues in eyes, and maybe you must have seen someone who requires surgery also. That person is also eye science expert only. Then you go to a person who checks your power of your spectacles, and like he's also something related to eye science. He's also looking at, and he's also an expert. Okay, so let's break this up in further categories. First, let's understand, break it in some other way. First of all, which is the most common one, is Oculus. Now, Oculus is also stand for eye. Okay. Now, let's understand. Ocular, something that refers to eye. We can also say ocular for the adjective of eye. Okay. After that come monocol. Something similar. Mono, we have seen in last, that is single. So you must have seen in older movies, when we talk about movies, moreover Hollywood movies, not Bollywood. Hollywood, you must have seen those people holding one eyeglass in their hand, and that is circular, and just they hold it on one eye only, and that would more like this. I'll show you. Aisa kuch hota tha, right? And they used to hold this, and this is something which they keep on their eye. That is called monocle. Okay, now monocle is lens for one single eye. Okay, that is basically used by some upper class Britishers in earlier times. That thing, this particular thing is called, jaisa thoda dikhta hai, that is called monocle. Now, again, one, bi means two. Okay, then oculars. Now, binoculars, something two eye, right? So whenever we talk about binoculars, this is our usually spectacle shape, but we are calling it spectacles. Then what exactly binocular is? Then what is the relationship of two in this, if this is not what I'm talking about, general spectacles? So binocular is something which doubles your eyesight. So it increases your eyesight by twice. So usually you hold it so that you can actually see a distant object too. That thing is called binocular. That how two is related, because it doubles up your eyesight. Now, next is, अब हम जाते हैं थोड़ा सा detail में of this. If you ask me, there are multiple types of ophthalmologist. Okay, someone who are expert in surgery, someone who only checks your eyes but cannot perform surgery, some who can perform the surgery, but at the same time they are actually not checking your eye. Some are only checking your eye, some are only providing you with the spectacle. So multiple professionals are there. So let's study them. Now, when we talk about ophthalmologist, this person, okay, this is the person who is a medical specialist with 2 other practitioners. That I'll tell you later. First, can perform surgery, can give you medication easily. Okay, there is no restriction on ophthalmologist who cannot give you medicine or who cannot perform any surgery. He can perform surgery, he can also prescribe medicine. Then comes next, optometrists. Now, these are basically not doctors. They cannot assign you with any kind of medicine. They cannot perform any kind of surgery, cannot administer any kind of drug. They simply, as metrist, it means measure. So they actually check your eyesight. They actually measure your eyesight, that what is the correct power for your spectacles. Okay, they are actually measuring your vision. So these are called optometrist. Okay, now they can also test for glaucoma and prescribe and fit glasses. So mainly specifically check your vision and glasses. Now optician, third, तीसरा है जो यूजुअली हम शॉप्स पे लिखा देखते हैं. You must have seen this, opticians, opticians, like that. Now who are opticians? We can further divide them in 2 categories. First, they are also called opticians only, but they can measure your eyesight. Okay. Then come optician in general. Okay. Now those are those opticians. Those are usually called ophthalmic optician. Okay. So these opticians are those people who perform the same function as optometrists only. Okay, but the second type, if I talk about this specific one, they cannot measure your eyesight. Okay, they don't have that thing, in that they don't have authority that they can prescribe, they can perform surgery, they cannot, they can prescribe drugs, no, they cannot. Can they check your vision? No, they cannot do this either. Their only task is to provide you with already prescribed glasses and power. They are not allowed to examine you. You go to them, you show your prescription or whatever you have with you, you show to them, and according to that, they will simply provide you with the suitable glasses. So this person, surgery can be there, drugs prescription can be there. This person measures your eyesight, vision check karta hai wo. This person only already prescribed glasses provide karta hai. He's basically a provider. Okay, hope I'm clear. Any doubt, any question if you have, please drop it in the chat. Clear? I hope you guys have no question or no doubt in this. So this is how it becomes actually very interesting. Any question, any doubt, please drop it in the chat box. Anyone? Okay, I'm waiting for your questions, but cannot see any. Okay, under the skin. Okay, so I actually cannot see any of the questions, any of the doubts. So shall I assume that you guys have no doubt? So I hope you guys have enjoyed this session, and hopefully you have learned a lot, and hopefully you have learned root words basically, which will be very helpful in solving those questions which do not require exact meaning of the word, because there are multiple types of question. One type of question which requires the exact literal meaning. Even a fine line can end up you getting the wrong answer, and sometimes knowing the rough meaning is enough to get the answer. Root words actually helps you in identifying those words. Okay, so I hope this one is clear to you. Okay, so I think you have got enough information on vocabulary. So for more such topics and for more information, keep watching MBA Pathshala, and not even just verbal, quants and LRDI as well. In next session, we'll be coming up with some topic specific question. By the time, keep practicing and enjoy.